Good morning, traders. Although it is noon, which is unusual for me to be trading this long. To be honest, I was totally shot today. I was out of a flow and I went to take a nap. I came back, traded a little bit more, had a few more green trades, which was nice because I'm still ending the day in the red. You know, I'm wearing my Pray to the Pre-Market God shirt today and it still wasn't enough. I just couldn't really get into a flow state. I think I was just totally shot. And I had a lot of these situations where I just didn't cut my losses quick enough on a trade that wasn't breaking out. I think the saying breakout or bailout is really true. And today, sometimes I just held a little bit too long and then closed the trade, although I should have probably closed it earlier. Let's go to the trading screen because we got 6 tickers to review today, quite a bit. And we had some pretty cool action with RDBX. I think that was my favorite ticker today, but I just kept tripping over myself, and that was really frustrating. And then on REVB and GOVX, really unnecessarily gave back profits on these two. At the end of this video, we'll dive into my day trading stats and running P&L and P&L calendar and all that fun stuff. So we can finish this video by taking a bird's eye view and seeing how everything is going, which is always really good to stay on track. And then I also want to share maybe a little bit of a rule I'm going to change, but I'm going to give myself until the monthly recap video to finally decide. So we'll see. So let's just start with the biggest loser. That's GOVX. Yeah, and this ticker was quite unfortunate because I was actually green on this ticker at first, and then I just took a pretty unnecessarily large loss on this one. You can see here on the daily, we actually have high relative volume on the day, which is really nice. And we have that big resistance right around here at 135. And then pre-market day, we just had this really aggressive run, and I just got stuck right here in this move. So my first trade was nicely green right here. I did sell a little bit too soon, but that's fine. And I went for this pullback, and it was struggling here for a little bit. You could just feel the sellers. Maybe this was a little bit high in sellers too. And I was getting ready to close my position. You could actually see I sold 2,000 shares, but then it just boom, in 1 second, just flushed all the way down. And I was actually red on this one like 14% with my remaining size. And it pops up here a little bit, and I just close out the rest. I didn't think it was going to do this huge bounce as it did. I mean, this was a huge amount of sell volume. You really don't want to get stuck on a ticker like this that keeps selling off. So just like that, I was down like 400 on the day. And for the fact that I'm trading smaller size, it was a little bit annoying because it's like, all right, now you know, let's dig myself out of the hole. And Mondays, as you guys will see later on too, that they just haven't been that great this month so far. GOVX though, I did a few more trades on here, got a little bit out of the hole on it, but wasn't really able to do much. And then market open, I don't know, this ticker was really hectic, and at 11 o'clock I was also gone. Yeah, it's just a total loss. REVB, this one I actually did pretty good on at first until I ended up giving back profits right at the end for no reason on this one. So that was a little bit frustrating. On the daily, kind of a hectic ticker here, high relative volume, but it just got rejected so hard off of almost $2 here. And then on the 5-minute, you can see we pretty much had a triple top. I ended up trading it on the way up here. And my problem with REVB was I kept on getting shaken out. So either, you know, taking losses here, or it bounced up and then kind of cutting close to break even, and then it actually ends up running. So I just had a hard time trading this one. It was just shaky price action in terms of like really extended pullbacks. Pre-market, I don't know, it was like more like scratch territory for me. And then at market open, I wasn't really feeling comfortable. There was this really nice pullback here that's I did quite okay on. I could have done a little bit better, but first nice profit and then a second decent profit here. But then this is where I held just a tad bit too long. Sized up nicely here, looking for that last pop continuation. We didn't get it, so I start closing it. And then again, I get stuck in this sell-off. I actually buy one time right near the low, looking for that quick pop back up. We didn't get it again. And I eventually just closed the rest of my size right here, which, you know, good thing I did because it just never even ended up popping a little bit. It was just such an aggressive sell-off. So, I mean, this kind of really strong sell-off is a little bit unusual. Usually we'll get a little bit more of a pop to the upside, but, you know, that's why if you don't get that continuation, if the strategy is not working, if your thesis is wrong, it's totally fine. You just got to cut your losses quick enough. And with REVB, just like GOVX, that's where my mistakes were today. I actually made quite a bit of profits today, so I just gave back way too much. Moving forward here to MTEK, this was a really quick, messy trade. You'll see on the daily, the 5-minute, nothing is interesting here. And I actually traded it right here in this 1-minute candle. Luckily, I didn't have a bigger loss because this was a huge pullback, and then it popped up, and I just closed my position. So that was MTEK. VS, also not really that interesting. Daily, bit of a headache. 5-minute, you can see doesn't really look that good here. And then I traded this one pre-market right here in this area, right here on this pullback, and this 9 EMA pullback, had a little bounce, closed it. noticed the sell volume was high, and then moved on. Now, a little bit better tickers, RDBX, this one was actually quite nice. I wish I could have pulled more profits out of this one. I feel like any other day, I might have been able to pull more profits out. Just today, I was really like a bit of an arrowhead. I really felt that I was not focused. On the daily, really nice momentum here. And on the 5 minute, you could just see a really consistent front side pattern. And right now it's over 100%. So that's really nice with some solid dollar volume as well. Now, I wasn't trading RDBX at first because I was looking at GOVX and REVB and all these other tickers. And it really wasn't until RDBX kind of had that first really nice move, I started watching it. And this was after the halt. So this ticker was getting halted. I ended up trading it here, but I scratched out. I just didn't feel really comfortable because I was already quite red on the day. So that was really annoying because this was a perfect trade right here. It was a nice 5 minute breakout, 1 minute pullback. This was like the trade of the day that I just fumbled on for pretty much no reason. I ended up buying this pullback, small win. I think I had a loss right here, and I was like, oh, what's up with these extended pullbacks? That's just been, getting me so good. I did a little bit trade here and then another one here, but all of these didn't really amount to too much. I think I even lost on this one, which was kind of frustrating. And then I was pretty much like wrapping up. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to do the trading recap. It's not a day for me, or it's not my day, and I'll move on till tomorrow. And this is where I was so tired that I actually ended up taking like a 45-minute nap. I get back to my computer and I see RDBX popping up here, and I was like, okay, well, I don't, look at the 5 minute move here. I was like, I don't want to, start, FOMOing or doing revenge trading. But at the same time, I was like, this is kind of a good setup. So I ended up trading this pullback and taking this nice little pop here. It was smaller size, but that's fine. And then I traded this pullback with the pop. Now, I was going to go for this pullback here. It was a bit of an extended pullback, and we've been seeing extended pullbacks again and again and again. And this is where I was fumbling all day long on these extended pullbacks. And I was like, this could be it. But every time I traded this today and I was still red on the day, I gave back profits and I was like, I'm just going to call it. This one actually would have ended up working. It was a nice little 6% pop. So coulda, shoulda, woulda. But, to be honest, I don't really regret it. I just felt like I did a lot wrong today, and you guys will really see that when we look at the running P&L. So it was always just like a few steps in the right direction, and then like all those steps back +1 in the wrong direction was really like the name of the game today, which was really frustrating. KAVL, nice little $220 profits there. Still not that much and still not enough to, walk away green today. Honestly, any of these trades, like this is all like one trade profit here. So it really shows like I was scratching like crazy today. Even with GOVX or REVB, I could technically get back in the green with just one trade, not even like a good trade, like a solid base hit. But my problem today was I just had no flow. So I'd have a green trade and a red trade and a red trade and a green trade and a red trade. It was kind of frustrating. Well, unfortunately, my trades aren't popping up, but with KAVL, I pretty much only traded this action right here. So I went for a few trades here and a few trades here. I actually did quite a few trades on KAVL. I don't know how I did so many trades in this little area right here, but I was pretty quick to trade it, take my profits, and look for continuation. Unfortunately, we had big resistance at $2 pre-market, and then once we weren't able to break that with high volume, you can see we flushed right back down. This ticker has been selling off ever since with really low volume. So it wasn't really that interesting to me. Really what we want to keep focusing on is RDBX. This one actually might even have some continuation here, but we've seen several pops that weren't able to hold, so I would be a little bit cautious here. Relative volume is pretty high, but $6 has a lot of resistance, and this is just littered with back holders, so I'm not super crazy optimistic. According to the news, it doesn't even seem like they know what's going on of why the stock is moving, so I really think this might just be a dead cat bounce, and I would be pretty weary of actually holding on to this one. It's a tough bear market with a strong bounce like that, with no news, good chance it's a dead cat bounce, so I'm not holding that one too long, and I'd be also nervous on any sort of offerings, because that's what we saw today with TBLT right here. This ticker, multi-day runner, this is why I'm not a big fan of trading multi-day runners, had a huge flush right here after an offering. It could have been much worse. I mean, usually with an offering, you'll see like a 50-60% sell-off after a hold. This one happened pre-market, so there wasn't a hold, but you got to be really careful with tickers like this, these low-flow, cheap companies that just had a huge rally, because a lot of these companies are bleeding cash. So when they're rallying like this, what are they trying to do? They're trying to raise that capital, and then you get stuff like that. So here are my stats today, and I gotta say what I really like is my risk reward is positive. It's not every day my risk reward is positive. My mistake was I just didn't cut my losses on some of my bigger sizes today. I definitely, there's a few trades I trade with bigger size, like this one right here, RDBX, $13,000, 13,000 here. I think I even had a bigger one, but I can't find it. There's another page. So I unfortunately had some of my bigger losers with the bigger size. I was really like edging into those, ready for the pop. And I don't mind that the spread of my winners and losers were so big. I felt like I did actually pretty good risk management today, besides cutting my losses just a little bit quicker. And then I could have rebought. That would have been a huge pivot point. Just look at my running P&L. How devastating is this? So I pretty much started off green, instantly gave that all back on GOVX, crawled my way back up just to give it back again, and I just had so many scratch trades. So my flow today wasn't really there. And maybe I should have just called it when I was up 200 again. But no matter what, today is like a small red scratch day. And hopefully tomorrow I'll be a little bit more in the flow and we have a bit more momentum. That would make me really happy. So I could end July green, because man, July has been my biggest fumble month probably of the year. I mean, this is a really sloppy month for me. And I think a big reason for that is I've been trying to size. And I had one of those classic issues like I did last year in October, where I started sizing and I just started tripping over myself quite a lot. Now, in October, we had a lot of action, so sizing then was good. Sizing now was just not a good idea, and I ended up tripping over myself quite a bit. So if I just hide the nominal P&L, you can really see here I've been really struggling now in July. But I think that's fine. I feel like a much better trader since the last 3 months. I'm like very aware of my risk reward lately, and I like the situation I'm in. So I think I just need a little bit more momentum in the markets, and I just need to have one of those days where I'm a little bit more in the flow. And I think I could get some really nice good profits. I just need to, survive until I thrive. And right now, this is a surviving market, so I also can't push it that hard. So if you scroll down, you can see my weekday performance. Usually Mondays aren't that great and Fridays aren't that great. But if I just click apply to this month, look at that. This has been the worst day for me to trade. I don't know what it is. And besides this weekend where I was in the UK and there was kind of a lot going on, I've been pretty relaxed most weekends. I think just in general, there's been a lot on my plate and maybe I'm in a little bit distracted. I don't know. I also have the most trades on Monday, just like today. I traded for a really long time today, so maybe there's something to that. And what I'm thinking about doing, especially in the summer months, so specifically Q2 and Q3, is reducing my max loss a little bit more. So what I would probably do, because right now I say 10% based on my average position size, and I've really been leaving it to like $1,000, which is not my average position size right now. So being a little bit more tight on that. So basically a $400 red day would already be my max loss, because right now in June, my average position size is like $4,000. It's tiny. So what I really need to be doing is, moving down my max loss to about $400. Maybe I'll hit my max loss a little bit more, which is fine because I won't have that ability to get back in the green, but I'll just take those smaller size trades at first, and I think I'll throttle a little bit better. But these bigger red days really throw me back, and I just realized I was on June. They really throw me back. I had 2 on this week, and then those things have a little bit of mental ripple effects when you hit a max loss on the day. So I'll think about that a little bit more, how to update my 10% down based on my average position size. Because right now, technically, I haven't been applying that rule. I've been basically making my max loss $1,000 and just leaving it there. So either I need to stick to that rule a little closer or make some bit of an update where, let's say my max loss is always $1,000 until I really, really start scaling up. But then in the summer months, so Q2 and Q3, doing like half of that. That's also an option. I got a little bit more time to think about it. Anyway, guys, that's all for this recap video. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you then first thing tomorrow morning. Like always, stay safe and make some awesome trades. Ciao, ciao.